sense is deceptive. When you look at the pot, it seems to be that there are many lights of different sizes and shapes. In reality, there is only one. And that same light is shining through what? Different. Same thing, same light of consciousness is shining through your senses, shining through your mind, shining through your mind, your senses, your mind, your senses. And we all think that we are all different. So, then the idea that the lamp, by shining through different things, does it ever get affected by anything that it shines through? It never gets affected. So this is why in the next verse it says, Apani-padaha javanaha grahitva pratyat pashyati achakshuhu saha shrunaha akarnaha saha veti vetyam nacha tasya asti veta tam ahuhu agram purusham mahantam. This is beautiful. It says that the eyes cannot exist without what? Awareness, but awareness is not the eyes. So that means it sees, it does the function of seeing without the eyes. What does it mean? That while it gives the capacity to the eyes, itself is free from being the eyes. How do you understand that? Just look at the eyes. This eye that we say, how many different parts are put together? Tell me. Retina, then what are all the names? Cornea.
Pupil.
Yeah?
Pupil.
Then
you have optical nerve, you have the
optical
cones and rods at the back.
Exactly. So that means eye is a name of so many different things assembled. That means that each one of them has to be there, and not only just randomly there, at the right distance from each other, in the right position. It all has to be there in order for your eyes to see. Now, so that means eye is again only a name of many different things which are put together. Now you take one part, retina. What is that?
Cells.
So that means now that itself is what the cells. So that means, are the cells eyes? No, because cells are also in other parts of the body. So what is the relationship? Without cells, retina cannot exist, but cells are not retina. Cells can be anything. They can be your kidney cells. They can be your liver cells. So that means non-eyes make what? Eyes. Now, even those cells are what? Nothing but?
Neutron, protons, particles.
Exactly. So that means the cells are also composed of what? Non-cells. Everything is composed of non-that thing. Magic. So, if the eye is able to see, without cell it cannot see, but the cell is not eye. The cell itself cannot exist without neutron, proton and electrons. So neutron, proton and electrons are non-cells. So non-cells make cell. How? Magic. Assemblage. The assemblage is the intelligence. Is intelligence the eyes? No. Because if intelligence was the eyes, it cannot be the ears. Intelligence makes what? At every level, it assembles neutron, protons and electrons and makes into cell. The cells assemble, make retina. Retina itself is what? One of the parts of what? Many parts of the eyes, and when all of them put together, the sight takes place.
Big engineering.
Big engineering. So this Purusha, without Purusha, things cannot be seen, but itself is what? Not the eyes. Same thing with reference to what? Hearing. Same thing. What does the ear consist of? Tell me. Now I don't know, I'm relying on all you.
Cartilage and skin.
Cartilage
It
and-
contains the cochlea, it contains the three small bones which support in the fluid, which gives you the balance, and then connects the nerve which goes to the entire brain.
Yeah, you see. In fact, you know what they say, because I have this problem of motion sickness. So in motion sickness, they say it has something to do with your ear, some imbalance in the...
The fluid,
In
the
the
fluid has
fluid,
got
yeah,
small
there's the
three
fluid.
bones.
They're
If they shift
small.
a little,
And
you
then
will
you...
fall.
Exactly. And then you will feel like this. So whenever I go to the sea, I feel so sick
On a boat.
in a boat. Because it shakes. Then I'm like going like that. So that means, it's just that little fluid is slight, it's just a very slight imbalance, and you feel you are like hanging in the air and you're rolling. And so this is how it is.
Everything is Vishwarupa Mata.
So that means each of the non-ears, bone is not a ear. The nerve is not ear. So each of the non-ear assembles and makes ear. This is how it is. And that part in itself is made up of non-that. Bone itself is made from what?
Calcium.
Calcium. So calcium is not bone. So that means that the bone is made up of non-bone. Magic. So that means at every level of, when all of these parts are assembled and they are put here, and then they are connected to, as he said, connected to the brain. Because hanging here, the ear will not do any hearing. They are all connected also at the right place and right centers of the brain, by the way. Then they will do hearing. So that means Ishvara is what it makes the hearing possible, but is it ear? No. It is the intelligence which assembles each part, and progressive assemblage at one point makes what? Ear.
So precise.
So precise. So here it says that Purusha itself is not eyes, but what is able to see, in the sense make the eyes possible. Itself is not ears, but makes what? Hearing possible. Itself is not what? A part. It is not hands, but makes what? Hands what they are.
And grasp.
And grasp.
So it's not feet, but still
Yes.
it can move.
Exactly. So that means it is not feet, but it is able to what? Able to make you walk. So this is how pashyati achakshuhu shrunoti akarnaha. So because of which you are able to see, but itself is not eyes, because of which you are able to hear, but itself is not ears. Okay. So once you understand this Purusha, so that means this Purusha is only in eyes? No. It is also in the ears. Is it only in eyes and ears? No. It is also in the working of hands. Is it only in the working? No. It is also in working of legs. And without being any. This is how this Purusha is. So first it says that the Purusha has 1,000 hands. So every hand means what? It will have some problem or the other. So then what will happen? If Purusha was only the hand, Purusha will be stuck with what? if one head means you will have headache. Purusha, the Ishvara will be stuck with how many headaches? One.
One big one.
So that means if all the heads were Purusha, and if Purusha was not free from it, Ishvara will be stuck with her thousands of headaches.
And this one headache, then is the big pain.
So that means being free from it, it produces headache. Wonderful. That's why you want to get to the other side of Purusha. That's why. So you can be free. If you're on this side of Purusha, you are stuck with headaches. If you're on the other side of Purusha, you're free from it. So this is how it is. So this is how itself is free from everything. This is why Ishvara being everything, Ishvara is not bound by anything. Because the intelligence doesn't take on unto it any attributes. But it makes the assemblage possible, and at every level of assemblage there are increasing attributes. This is the arrangement. This is why Ishvara is not at the bottom of things. Please don't think. It's at every level of assemblage. Don't make Ishvara, our teacher used to say, don't make Ishvara as a submarine. Submarine is what? Everything is there and down below there is this intelligence. Ishvara is all along. At every level of assemblage there is Ishvara. In and through everything. So, this is what? Yes?
Can I ask something? I'm not sure, did you explain the meaning of City of the Nine Gates?
Yeah. As I said, that you can take it as two eyes,
All nine legs.
two ears,
Okay.
two
Nostrils.
nostrils, then 2 and 2, 4,
Mouth.
and
Six,
then
six.
mouth,
2, 4, 6, 7.
7,
Another 2
and
others.
the other 2.
9 openings human being
It
has.
has.
Thank you.
And now then if you take, see that's why I said that if you take one human body, there is one light of consciousness which expresses through everything, then it expresses not only through one body but through all the bodies. And itself is none of it. So this is what is said. Now, in terms of the last verse we will do for today, and it says, Anora Aniyan Mahato Mahiyan Atma Guhayam Nihito Asya Jantoho Tam Kratuhu Pashyati Vita Shokaha Dhatut Prasadat Mahiman Isham. This is a beautiful verse.
Mali sarve saha veti vidyam nacha tasya asti.
Yeah.
That is
So,
nice.
yeah, it hears without, it knows what is to be known, but no one knows it. Okay, so that is also, that is a beautiful thing, that with reference to you, it may be veiled, but with reference to Ishvara, it is what? Not veiled. So that means Ishvara has a different upadhi altogether. So this is why there is a difference between Ishvara upadhi and Jiva upadhi. Ishvara is the wielder of Maya and you are under the spell of Maya. So this is what it is. So you are under the spell of Maya means what do you need to do? You need to
Remove the
your ignorance. Ishvara is not under the spell of ignorance. Even though Ishvara is everything, the Ishvara is not confused. Oh my God, now I have become X person. Then Ishvara doesn't have confusion like that. Being in everything, it is free. This is why knowledge comes from Ishvara. The only entity which is capable of removing ignorance is Ishvara. So that means, and also please understand, people generally think that we all have minds, and they think Ishvara is what? One super mind. Ishvara is not some super mind. Ishvara is the, otherwise what will happen? There are all these little minds, and Ishvara is what? Super mind. So all these minds are separate from this super mind. It will become still a limited mind. It is the intelligence which makes every mind what it is, and itself is not a mind. Mind means it is limited. Sarvajnaha means there is no mind. It makes every mind what it is, and makes every mind's program what it is. A fish mind is different from a human mind. A bird's mind is different from a reptile mind. It makes all these programs. Itself is what? Just intelligence, which makes not only the minds, it also makes what? Ears, it also makes eyes, it also makes hands, it also makes legs, and itself is what? Of not any given form. This is what one has to understand. Otherwise we will make Ishvara into some kind of a supercomputer. It's not a supercomputer. Supercomputer has a form.
And we will make it as an object.
And it will make it into an object. You will make it like an object within time and space. That's why one has to be careful about how one... This is why the Upanishads describe our mind forms what? Images of what the reality is. Most of the time the images we form don't correspond to the realities. That's why Upanishad has to make us keep seeing again and again from all different standpoints to shed our wrong images that we have formed as a result of hearing. Till we come to the truth. Then the last one is Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. So that's why also when we say, now this is something which is interesting also. Now when we say Atma is Brahman, and Brahman comes from the root Bruhi, which is in the sense of big. So and then we say limitlessly big. Then the mental image that we create is what? Something which is really big. That something which is really big is wrong understanding. Because big is what? A size. And any size happens within what? Time and space. So this is why, in order to for us to give up this thing, that it is something just big in size. So big in size, this is why we, now see, we have given a wrong understanding to this word. Then what do we want to do? We want to create an experience which is not a limited experience. We see some expansion. And we confuse it with what? Knowledge. It's not a matter of seeing some expansion. That experience is taking place in time and space. That expansion that we feel was not there. Now that we have created this experience, for how long was it not there? For 13.7 billion years it was not there. That expansion that I feel now. Can you call that little expansion that I am seeing with my eye limitless? And that expansion will go next time the dinner bell rings, you will go and eat. And how long has it lasted, that sense of expansion? 5 minutes. Oh, I had experience of limitless. This is as far as our buddhi can comment. 5 minutes I have seen limitless. In 5 minutes you can see limitless? Can you? There is no experience which can capture, not one experience which can capture limitless. Limitless means what has happened in the past, what will happen in the future, what will happen, what is happening now, and so much of it is unknown to you. Isn't there? One little experience, puny little experience of yours, you can't mistake it for limitlessness. That is foolishness. So therefore, this limitless means the only definition of you can only understand limitlessness. How will you understand limitless? You understand that there are only three kinds of limitations possible. What? Time-wise limitation, space-wise limitation, and object-wise limitation. Only three limitations possible. And this reality, as a result of rigorous inquiry, you understand it to be what? Not limited by anything. The knowledge is as clear as daylight. Because you have examined that Vastu's relationship with time, space and object. This is the only way you can arrive at limitlessness. You can't arrive at through some little experience of yours for 5 minutes. So this is what here, to give up this orientation that it is something which is big and you have to experience big. Upanishads know the pitfalls of a human mind. They can immediately anticipate, if I am trying to say this, what is the image that is going to be created in the mind?
Some kind of form.
Some kind of a form. In order to negate that, what is the methodology is used? The methodology is used, and that is said, it is bigger than the biggest that you can imagine. So that means it has no size. Then simultaneously it is smaller than the smallest. Upanishad is very clever. So here it says it's bigger than the biggest and it is smaller than the smallest. What does it mean? It has no size. In which all sizes take place, from small to big. From smallest
it is the
amoeba.
truth of all sizes.
Exactly. It's the truth of all sizes. In which the configuration for amoeba exists, in which the configuration of a huge mountain exists, in which the configuration of what? The planets and stars, everything exists. Itself has no size.
So having understood this, now when we want to chant, we want to meditate, or we want to be with Ishvara in all our processes, then what should we think and what should we imagine?
See, this is what I am saying, that in that previous one, see, you can take anything, you take destructive force. First you change your relationship with destructive force. Then you see that that destructive force is not just hanging in the air, it's part of Ishvara. Then you see the truth of that Ishvara as you. This is what we say, then you see clarity. You also can see Ishvara, you can start with your eyes. You can start with your ears. Then you move to where? Ishvara. And then you see the truth of Ishvara, which is you. So this is the whole practice. That you don't have to only think of, you can look at any object in the universe and you will come to what? Ishvara and the truth of Ishvara. So that means, and that's why I am saying, if you try to skip the forms, you will miss the point. You have to see the forms and you have to see what a wave has to...
the truth behind
the truth behind the forms. Only then you will be able to relate. Otherwise you are in some wacko world. Because here is not that this is free from intelligence. Here itself, in table, there is a manifestation of intelligence. In wood, there is a manifestation of intelligence. In atoms, there is a manifestation of intelligence. In particles, there is manifestation of intelligence. Intelligence manifests in all, but it's free from all. That is your understanding.
But in a prayer, something has to come in mind.
Yeah, so this is why we said Rudra, no? So you can take Rudra, which is a destructive force. You can take the power of sustenance one day. You can take power of creation one day. One day you can take Saraswati, God, that which gives you intelligence. You can take what? Saraswati, that which gives you resources. You can take anything.
So we can take any form,
but
we know that it is formless. But for our understanding, for our convenience, or so that we can relate,
yes,
we can take anything and
exactly.
Why is it so often said is lodged in the heart of everyone? This metaphor is used so often.
Yeah.
Why?
Why not? What is the problem with this metaphor?
Because the problem with this metaphor is some Ramana Maharshi was often saying, Atman is here as blue light in the right heart.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay. See, the thing is, okay, now this blue light and all is a very big problem. So that you have to go back and ask Ramana Maharshi. Because
I'm only saying it's often used. Why you bring it to one place?
he says too hard.
Yeah. See, generally the Upanishad, it is actually, there are so many different things, It says manasa eva mantavya. That means what? You can only think about it with your mind. Then it will also say it is that which is what it is, the only, the upalabdhi sthanam is what in your mind. That also Upanishad say. Now, why heart is used is your eye sense. See, we don't, this is what? The heart is a center of what? Generally? Love and emotions. Generally, you don't say, even if the sense of I is in the mind, but when you want to indicate I, you don't say I, what do you say? I. The sense, where does it exist? The sense exists without mind, that sense of I cannot exist. But the location where you say is where? Here.
Right.
The right. Right or left?
Right. And you do always like this, right?
The heart is in the right or in the left? Left.
The symbolic part is here.
Heart is not here. Heart is here. Heart is here.
I think it's just a metaphor. And it's the essence of everybody, because you take the heart as the essence normally, and the heart is the last thing which stops, and this is the essence.
So now it's interesting because my teacher used to make fun. He used to say that people say that you in Hridaya, there is your eye. So one person, he says, my teacher used to say that very seriously came and asked that, Swamiji, if I do a heart transplant, what happens to eye?
I becomes him.
So that means the sense of I exists here, but it is also heart. Right? Because our sense of I is also here. And also that also shows that, we overemphasize, see here, you need cognitive capacity. There is no way you can understand intricacies of Vedanta and arrive at truth without having some logical, sound logical thinking. But that alone is not enough. So as I told you, sometimes scientists can be so brilliant and they have very strong cognitive capacity, but emotionally if they have not taken care of themselves, then what will happen? This knowledge will not take place. So that means this cognitive capacity is a necessity, but it alone is not sufficient. So that means, this is where Surya used to say, a Vedic day has to have, it's a very nice, I like it. has to have a mind, a cognitive capacity like a scientist who is able to think critically and follow steps and see logic at each point and build properly without deviating. That is the first thing. That is the mind of a scientist. This Vedantin also must have a mind of a person who is emotionally mature. You can't have only the cognitive capacity and have no emotional maturity. What will happen? You will keep telling yourself, the emotions will continue to rule your life. So that means fear is taking over. How will you understand that I am truth of everything? Sadness, you are like constantly sad. How will you understand that I am limitless? You are always angry. How? Always means any small trigger and anger is manifesting. How will you understand? It will not happen. So that means you also have to have an emotional intelligence for this knowledge to take place. Cognitive capacity alone is not enough.
Otherwise it's only theory then.
Then exactly. Now, there is a third thing that you need, which is a creative mind. Mind of an artist. Why? Because you can be emotionally mature and you can have a kind of a cognitive thinking capacity, but you are not able to think out of box. So that means you start with saying, yeah, I want only empirical proof and only then I can believe it. Now, if your mind is like that, empirical proof means what? You have to see it. That means that you will never get it. So that means you also have to have the capacity to think out of the box. Mind of a creative person, an artist. Artist is creative, thinking out of box.
And seeing
This
things
is
which
why
are beyond the
with
visible.
one, you have one raga, which is Yaman Kalyan. And how many rendering of one raga? Countless rendering. There is one gharana there, Jaipur gharana, and then there is a South Indian, Karnataki, and all different rendering. And one artist can render the same raga differently in every concert. Infinite possibilities, out of box. Not like I learned this way and I only repeat from my teacher and I keep repeating that. There is one stage of music learning where you just learn what your teacher teaches you. But you become a real musician, then you are able to create within the parameters of that raga. Infinite. Creativity. One box of sand. Infinite images. Infinite images. Never ends.
So 3 things required.
Now the fourth thing.
I have a 5th thing.
Then Surya said, so that means one is the mind of a scientist, then of a person who is highly emotionally intelligent, then what, a creative mind of an artist, and the fourth thing is a saintly mind. Saintly, a good human being. Emotional intelligence means you kind of, know how to not be overburdened and all. But that going one step further and being caring and compassionate is another ballgame altogether. There is whole being a contributor, spending time with, giving does not mean only money. Please understand. Giving can include what? Being a contributor means what? You can contribute with your time, you can contribute with your skills, you can contribute with your just kind of being there for somebody who needs your help. Resources if you have, teaching if you have, certain things, something that you have learned, you share without holding back anything. There are so many teachers who hold back. They said, I can't give everything, because then I lose my power over you. It becomes a power game. I hold always some. So that you are always relying on me. Sharing fully means there is bigness. So that is saintly mind. So now, if you want to understand Vedanta, you have to cultivate all four.
Right?
What is the fifth one?
Fifth is sense of humor.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. You have to have a sense of humor. Because your life has to become light.
And then you get stressed out.
You really, absolutely. Wonderful. Now we will add the fifth one. That's a good one. And my teacher was full of it. He was just making us roll with laughter. He was funny. He was really funny. So that was, so the sense of humor.
Because after doing all analysis, understanding everything, this is whole imaginary picture. This is like a Superman someone, like we, because it's limitless. So after all, it is some Superman, somebody. So we have to have that creative mind, imagination, and because it's all here, we understand, we see everything. We can't see everything still. Yes.
So that is
Not
how
easy.
it is. Yeah. So that is what is said. That it has no size. It is Mahato Mahiyan and what? Anoho Aniyan. Then Atma Guhayam Nihito Asya Jantu. So it is hidden in the heart. So heart means that is a center of what all your emotions, your well-being. So you can't have you can't say, Swamiji, he used to say, you can't say, Swamiji, I understand Atma, but I'm still depressed. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. So you have to heal yourself. So that is how it is. Yeah. Then the one who sees it, that means as a result of these 5 essential ingredients, you'll see it. What happens? Vita Shokaha. Vita Shokaha means that Shoka, sorrows will go away. The whole vision of life has changed. And then, when will the vision take place? So here it's beautiful. It says Dhatu Prasadat. Dhatu Prasadat means your body has to cooperate, your mind has to cooperate, until what? The inquiry leads to clarity. Till then, you have to continue to use them intelligently. Mind is given to you, it's an endowment. It's entrusted to you. The body is entrusted to you, senses are entrusted to you, you are entrusted. And you have to use it till the time, intelligently, till the time that you get there. What is get there? You understand your own limitlessness. You have to use it wisely. And they will only bless you. Dhatu Prasad. Prasada means they will give you, Prasada means they will give you the gift of that vision. When will they give you the gift of this vision? When you use those instruments intelligently. And the job of a teacher is what? To push a little bit. If I just am telling you, validating everything that you think, you will feel wonderful in my class, but you will not learn anything new. Very easy. I can say, oh yeah, Pankaj, everything that you understand is perfect. You will feel wonderful, but you will not move 1 inch in your understanding. So that means teacher's job is a difficult job. We have to make you go 1 step further, that is pushing you a little bit. That is sometimes uncomfortable because we are stretched out of our comfort zone. But that job we have to do because it is for your good. I don't get anything out of it. It takes you closer to reality. So, this is the attempt, taking you closer to your true nature. So, that is it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate